I really love that movie. You see Dinosaurs and Dragons, and how powerful they are.
It's an interesting movie, but it's still fiction.
No, it is based on scientific and archaeological discoveries. It is a fact that dinosaurs and dragons once walked this earth.
If it is true, the Bible must have something to say about it.
The Bible? You think you can find dinosaurs and dragons in the Bible? You must be kidding.
No, I am not kidding. Every true scientific discovery must agree with the Bible, even if it is not directly mentioned. Only pseudoscience, or false science, contradicts scriptures.
I doubt it.
Don't worry. I know who will help dissolve our doubts. Let's go and see Auntie and Kay.
Come in.
Good afternoon, Ma.
Good afternoon, Auntie.
Good afternoon, Wisdom. You and your friend are welcome. How is your mom?
She is doing well, Auntie.
Okay. So to what do I owe this August visit?
Auntie, are dinosaurs and dragons fact or fiction?
Oh. Have you been watching Jurassic Park and the likes?
Yes, Ma.
Yes, Auntie.
Okay. I'll get you some juice to drink while we talk. Now, scientists have inferred from their archaeological findings and research that dinosaurs and dragons walked the Earth for about 160 million years, until about 65 million years ago, when they were wiped off the face of the Earth. It is opined that they were destroyed when an asteroid impacted the Earth. The rock is thought to be 10 kilometers in diameter and impacted the Earth at a speed of about 20 kilometers per second, such that the energy of impact was equivalent to that of 10 billion atomic bombs, similar to the atomic bomb that was released in Hiroshima, Japan, in 1945.
What? An asteroid impact is equivalent to 10 billion atomic bombs?
Yes. It is thought to have knocked off 15 trillion tons of rock, sparked off volcanic eruptions whose impact could reach 70 million kilometers, and a tsunami 10 times the one that hit Japan in 2011 and impacted almost all the island states.
This is a major disaster.
Definitely. Also, an earthquake of magnitude 11.2 is thought to have been triggered, and eventually acid rain from sulfur that filled the air due to rocks knocked off at impact. This is thought to have destroyed most living creatures, and the dinosaurs and dragons did not survive it.
An asteroid is definitely the ultimate weapon of mass destruction.
You will be right if you say so. Now, let's go to the Bible.
I have been waiting for that.
Revelation chapter 12 verse 9 says, "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him." Also Revelation chapter 20 verse 2 says, "And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
Wow! 4 names for the same being.
Yes. Note the order in which the names appear, starting from the last 2, devil and Satan. Those are names we call him today. Then, that old serpent, which was the name he obtained after he possessed the serpent and used it to tempt and deceive Eve in the Garden of Eden. Finally, he is called the great dragon. We cannot call a defeated devil great. This must have been his name as God's vice-regent in the pre-Adamite world, when he was given dominion by God over all creature.
Does it mean that the devil possessed the dragon to dominate the earth, the same way he possessed the serpent to deceive Eve?
That is accurate. He was first the great dragon, then that old serpent, before he became Satan the devil, as we know him today.
I said it. If dragons are ever real, they must be mentioned in the Bible.
Surely. In several revealing scriptures, Psalms chapter 74 verses 12 to 14 says, "For God is my king from of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. You divided the sea by your strength. You broke the heads of the sea serpents in the waters. You broke the heads of Leviathan in pieces, and gave him as food to the people inhabiting the wilderness."
Ma, what is Leviathan?
It is another name for the dragon, also called sea monster or sea serpent.
Oh, sea serpent. So when the devil did not find the sea serpent to possess for his evil works, he possessed the land serpent to deceive Eve.
Interesting observation. So the Bible mentions the dragon as a sea monster, whose destruction brought salvation on the earth, just as it is today.
Tony, I told you it must be in the Bible, if it is true scientific fact.
I am really amazed.
Isaiah chapter 27 verses 1 says, "In that day the Lord with his severe sword, great and strong, will punish Leviathan the fleeing serpent, Leviathan that twisted serpent, and he will slay the reptile that is in the sea."
God will punish the Leviathan, the dragon, in the day of the Lord? That's the day of judgment.
Yes. So you know it's not just an animal, because God will not judge animals, it's Satan the devil.
I can see that clearly.
That scripture classifies dragon as a reptile. I see there's biology in the Bible.
Interesting. Job chapter 41 verse 1 says, "Can you draw out Leviathan with a hook, or snare his tongue with a line which ye lower?"
Leviathan? That is the dragon. It also mentions hook, to show it lives where fishes live, in the sea.
Yes. That whole chapter shows a vivid picture of the dragon. Job chapter 41 verse 7 says, "Can you fill his skin with harpoons, or his head with fishing spears?" Showing how that the skin of the dragon is impenetrable to spears.
It is true. Weapons could not penetrate the dragon in the movie.
Job chapter 41 verses 9 to 10 says, "Indeed, any hope of overcoming him is false. Shall one not be overwhelmed at the sight of him? No one is so fierce that he would dare stir him up." This shows the dragon as a formidable opponent whose sight is overwhelming.
Exactly. The size and fierceness can be very scary.
Job chapter 41 verses 12 to 34 says, "I will not conceal his limbs, his mighty power, or his graceful proportions. Who can remove his outer coat? Who can approach him with a double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face, with his terrible teeth all around? His rows of scales are his pride, shut up tightly as with a seal. One is so near another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another, they stick together and cannot be parted. His sneezings flash forth light, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lights. Sparks of fire shoot out. Smoke goes out of his nostrils, as from a boiling pot in burning rushes. His breath kindles coals, and a flame goes out of his mouth. Strength dwells in his neck, and sorrow dances before him. The folds of his flesh are joined together. They are firm on him and cannot be moved. His heart is as hard as stone, even as hard as the lower millstone. When he raises himself up, the mighty are afraid. Because of his crashings they are beside themselves. Though the sword reaches him, it cannot avail, nor does spear, dart, or javelin. He regards iron as straw, and bronze as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Slingstones become like stubble to him. Darts are regarded as straw. He laughs at the threat of javelins. His undersides are like sharp potsherds. He spreads pointed marks in the mire. He makes the deep boil like a pot. He makes the sea like a pot of ointment. He leaves a shining wake behind him. One would think the deep had white hair. On earth there is nothing like him, which is made without fear. He beholds every high thing. He is king over all the children of pride.
Wow, what a clear picture. The Bible describes the skin, the teeth, the scales, the mouth, the eyes, the nostrils and the sneezing of the dragon, and says that even air can hardly penetrate the scales.
Yes! It says that light flashes when it sneezes, and the eyes beam with light as dawn, sparks of fire shoot out of its mouth and smoke from its nostrils.
True. Smoke like a boiling pot, and that its breath sets coals on fire.
It mentions the strength of its neck and its heart being hard as stone. It says that swords, spears and darts cannot harm it.
It also describes its underside, and says that it leaves a trail in mud and makes the sea boil. But I noticed that the biblical dragon has no wings. That aspect may be a myth.
Most likely, because it would have mentioned it, if there was. The last verse, verse 34 says, "It is the king over all that are proud."
You are intelligent children. So the Bible describes basically everything about the dragon. The devil, Lucifer, the fallen angel, was the first to walk in pride, so he is the king over all that are proud, and he possessed the dragon in the pre-Adamite age.
Auntie, Can we talk about the dinosaur? Is it in the Bible?
Definitely. The name behemoth is used for it. The description exactly matches.
Wow! I will take the Bible more seriously from today.
You better do. The book of Job chapter 40 verse 15 to 24 says, "Look now at the behemoth, which I made along with you. He eats grass like an ox. See now, his strength is in his hips, and his power is in his stomach muscles. He moves his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his thighs are tightly knit. His bones are like beams of bronze, his ribs like bars of iron. He is the first of the ways of God. Only he who made him can bring near his sword. Surely the mountains yield food for him, and all the beasts of the field play there. He lies under the lotus trees, in a covert of reeds and marsh. The lotus trees cover him with their shade. The willows by the brooks around him. Indeed the river may rage, yet he is not disturbed. He is confident, though the Jordan gushes into his mouth, though he takes it in his eyes, or one pierces his nose with a snare."
Interesting. It eats grass and its strength in its hips and stomach muscles. A sauropod dinosaur?
He moves his tail like a cedar tree and bones are strong like bars of iron and bronze. Only the sauropod can have tails competing with cedars which can get up to 100 feet high. No living creature can match this, neither the elephant nor hippos.
You are clearly seeing what I see. It also matches their strength. It mentioned its habitat is under the lotus tree, and it is not afraid if the water rages, because the river cannot sweep it away.
Wow! I noticed it was called the first or best among God's creation.
Yes! I agree. Scientists are amazed that such a creature can even walk, with the kind of structure it has. I think scientists should be encouraged to study the Bible. It will help to guide their investigations.
You are right.
I can see you both are discovering from the scriptures the answers to your questions.
Yes, Auntie. But ma'am, do you believe an asteroid actually hit the Earth and ended all lives, including the dinosaurs and dragons?
That is very possible. The book of Ezekiel chapter 28 verse 13 shows that the heavenly body of Lucifer, who became Satan the devil, was made of precious stones. Some scriptures call him morning star. When he was judged, God cast him down from heaven. What would have hit the earth has to be a stone, an asteroid.
That is interestingly true.
Ezekiel chapter 28 verse 16 to 18 says, "By the abundance of your trading you became filled with violence within, and you sinned. Therefore I cast you as a profane thing out of the mountain of God. And I destroyed you, O covering cherub, from the midst of the fiery stones. Your heart was lifted up because of your beauty. You corrupted your wisdom for the sake of your splendor. I cast you to the ground, I laid you before kings, that they might gaze at you. You defiled your sanctuaries by the multitude of your iniquities, by the iniquity of your trading. Therefore I brought fire from your midst. It devoured you, and I turned you to ashes upon the earth in the sight of all who saw you." So he was a blazing stone that was cast down to the earth, and on collision it exploded from within. No asteroid could be worse.
Wow! The Bible has all of science in it and is a relevant reference book today.
I am glad you agree with me.
I hope it has been a fulfilling day or both of you.
Yes, Auntie. Thank you so much.
Surely, Ma. I am grateful.
You are always welcome.